that if I'm going to continue to fly to Europe, I have to pay attention to my carbon footprint. So we drove a car up there so that it would stay up there at the cabin. And I said, well, I'm not going to fly home. I'm going to take the train. I love taking trains in Europe. Why not take the train here? What the heck? Get sleeper cars. Karen was like, oh, I don't know about that. So, but she said, sure, I'll do it. You're excited. I'll do it with you. And so we had 2 sleeper cars, one from Massachusetts to Chicago, one from Chicago to Dallas. And cozy little, the operative word there being little spaces. But of course, with the pandemic also protected in there, right? So it was, and so we had a lovely, lovely trip home. It was about 48 hours. It was beautiful. And let me tell you that the beds are really hard, really hard. The beds are really hard. And for some excruciatingly challenging reason or unknown reason, they put the sleeper car right behind the locomotive.
Engine.
The engine,
yeah.
The locomotive,
yeah.
Yes. And they do their train whistle, their engine, every single time they cross a road. Every time. Of course, not when there's an overpass or an underpass. When they're crossing a road with a crossing guard or with a crossing gates or not, they're beeping that horn. And so the first night coming out of Massachusetts, we were in a very populated area. All night long. Karen was using her earbuds. I did not have earplugs. So not only was the bed hard, it was loud. I am powerless about that, right? There's not a thing I can do about it. I can't make them stop. I can't make them move the car. And what can I do, right? What can we do in that moment? For me, it was a deep act of non-resistance. And it was a deep opportunity for me to remember that I made the decision to do this because I want to do something for the planet. I don't always want to be run by convenience. And quite frankly, I'm not always interested in being run by comfort. I want to be run by my values. And my value is to pay attention to my carbon footprint. So I stopped resisting that the bed was hard. The next night, and we're in the train. It's like, it's rocks. We napped. It was beautiful and quiet and peaceful. And so, yeah, I arrived here. I was not exhausted in any way, shape, or form, because there was a willingness to look at what was, this is what is, and in fact, I am powerless to change it. So what I can change is how I'm engaging with it, right, and how I'm approaching it. So the opportunity here, right, then we want to, with these stories, is to take a look at what are the ways in which we can wake up to what's going on and wake up to our resistance, distractions, and ways in which we're engaging with it. So the first one, and so it's all about practice, right? In each case, in these stories, right, Karen and I are thrown back into our spiritual practice over and over and over again. And so the question is, what do we need to practice to wake up? What do we need to practice to wake up? The first one, in this last example, was to acknowledge what's going on, accept it, and not resist it. Right? Now, nobody was being harmed by the fact that the bed was hard, right? There was nothing that needed to be changed. It was all fine. It was a decision that I had made. Karen had willingly gone along with it. And so to acknowledge and accept and move into non-resistance, that this is all part of the choice that I've made, and to stop being completely driven by comfort and convenience. Ernest Holmes writes this: everything is as real as it is supposed to be. If a person hurts, he hurts. If she feels badly, she cries. There is want, lack, and apparent limitation in human experience, and there is no use denying it. But perhaps it doesn't need to be. Perhaps it is not intended to be. Right? So we start with acknowledging it. And if there's nothing to do about it, to have acceptance and non-resistance to it.